Hello friends and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about media queries, CSS media queries, and basically media queries is just a concept in CSS that helps you create responsive websites. Okay, basically it helps you create different styles for different width. Okay, device width. Okay, so that's actually the basis of responsive website with HTML and CSS. So basically, let's get into it. Now, this is basically a simple page on index HTML, and I just have a div with a class of container, a parent div with a class of container, and within it I have 4 divs with a class of item. Okay, and inside of them we have 1, 2, 3, and it's open in my browser here. Okay, so I want this to be very quick, so I'll go to my styles.css and I'm just going to quickly add some styles. So let me just start by adding a reset. So I'll set padding to 0 and margin also set to 0 and box sizing to border box. Okay, and so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let me just pick my container. So container, and let me first add some styles to the items inside the container. So I'm just going to get the item and I will just add a background color, and I'm just going to say orange, and let me add some padding. Maybe I'll just do 10 pixels, and I'll see I want the font size to be like maybe 30 pixels. Okay, let me just save that so we can see. Okay, so let me add some margin around. So I'll just do margin of 5px, and that will separate everything. Let me do text align to center, and let me save that. Okay, so that seems okay. Or maybe I'll change the color to maybe white. So all right, so this is basically it for our item styles. Now what I'm going to do is I'll come to my container and I'm going to set the display to flex. That's because I want these boxes to be aligned side by side, and that's what you see here. But definitely this is not what I want, so I'm going to come here and I'm going to say flex and set it to 1. Okay, so each of the item will take up as much space as they can and occupy all of the width. Okay, so this is basically what I want to use to explain media queries. So as it is, because we have just a simple a single number inside of this what's it called, this box here, it looks fine. Okay, but still I'll just use it to explain media queries. So I've said that media queries is actually a way for you to apply different styles to your web page at different device width. Okay, so when it's like on a desktop, it has a particular style, and then when you come to like maybe an iPad width, okay, the style changes, and then when you come to mobile width, the style definitely changes also. So I'm going to show you. So I'm assuming that this is the desktop width and this is how I want it to look, and it's fine. Now let me show you. Let me right click and let me click on inspect. Okay, so if you look here, oh, I have this already set up. I'm going to change this to responsive. Now if you look here, you will see that we have these numbers. So this is 1024 by 873. Okay, I'm just going to reduce this because I'm not really debugging anything. Okay, so now what I can do is I can, if I hover on the bar just below this area here, you see that we have different width sizes. So this tablet, for example, now is 768 pixel. If I click on it, it will adjust, and if I come up here, that's a laptop size, and that's 1024, and you see that it adjusts. And if I click on the last one, that's a large laptop, and that's 1440 pixel by 761. Now let me show you what I mean. I want to set it such that when we get to a tablet width, right, the style changes. So I'm going to bring up my code editor and we're going to do just that. Okay, so maybe I should reduce this just a little bit and shrink that up. Okay, so we are in the tablet width, remember. Now I'm going to come here, and the way you specify a different style for a width, you start by saying at media. So I'll say at, oh, sorry, that should be okay. So at media, and then I'll say I'm setting it for screen, and then you specify the device width. So I'm going to open a bracket, and I will say, so there are two concepts here. The first is max width and the second is min width. So I'm just going to come up here and I'm going to define what they mean. So I'll come here and say max width, max hyphen width. And max width simply means that any width that is less than the specified width. So if I set maybe the max width to, let me just come here and set max width. So I'll say max hyphen width, and I'm just going to set it to 900. Okay, or I want to work with the max width for the tablet here, so that's 768. So I'll set it to 769. Okay, px. Now what this means is that any width that is less than 769 pixels, so I'm going to come here and I'm going to say width less than the specified width. Okay, or let me just say any width less than the specified width. Okay, it looks like tautology, but anyway, I'm sure you understand what I mean. So when you specify the max width here, right, you add your curly braces, and then any style you apply here would, you know, change the styles at the specified width and below. Okay, so that's max width. However, there is min width. Okay, so if I come here and say min width, right, so let me just duplicate this guy here so that I can define min width. So min width is any width greater than the specified width. So saying min width here will simply mean that I want the styles I put here to be applied to any width greater than 769 pixels. Okay, so I'm going to change this here to greater. Okay, all right. So but what I want to work with is max width, so max. All right, now what do I want to change? Let me just start from the background color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the item and I'm going to change the background color. So I'll come here, I'll say dot item, and then I'll say background color, and then I'm just going to change it to, let me just say red. Okay, just something sharp, and then I'll save, and voila, you see here that this background color has changed to red. Okay, if we want to change the padding, for example, or maybe we want it to be aligned to maybe the left, I'm just going to come here, copy the text align, and I'll come here, paste that in and say left, and I'll save, and as you can see, the text is now displayed on the left. Okay, oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. I just wanted to shrink it up a little bit. So I've changed the width. I have to click here to set it back to tablet width. So let me just shrink that up a little. Okay, so we can see. So that's how media query actually works, right? And for example, if I want to change the display flex of the container, for example, so we set the flex display to the display to flex, and you know that the default flex direction is row. So that's row. If I save that, nothing changes because that's actually the default. If I wanted to change the layout of this flex display on a mobile width, so let me just come here and click on mobile. Okay, so this is what it looks like on a mobile device. I'll simply just come here, right, and I'll come down here and I'll say at media, and then screen, and then I'll open a bracket, and then I'll say max width. 600. So I'm just going to work with, okay, maybe I should just work with actually what is here. So this is 425 pixels, right? So I'm just going to say anything less than 426, and remember 425 is less than 426. Okay, so and then I'll just come here, get this container class. So maybe I'll just copy this. Okay, and then it's important for you to know that I'll paste that in and I'll get rid of the display flex. It's important for you to know that when you are adding media queries, right, you don't actually need to add all of the styles. You just need to add the property that you want to change. Okay, in other words, the remaining styles will be inherited from the styles above. So let me give you an example. If I say media query, right, of this width, which is tablet width, and I come and set another media query for mobile width, the styles from the tablet width will be inherited on the mobile first, okay? Because I said max width, that's any width less than 769 pixels. And remember, 426 is less than 769, okay? So if I come here and I set the flex direction to column, so let me come here and say column. And if I save, watch what happens. So you see here that the boxes are stacked one on top of the other. Okay, and then I'll come down here and I can then maybe say something like, okay, I'll come down here and I'll get the item class. So I'll say dot item, and I'll just change the text align to maybe center, and then I'll save. And as you can see, it has changed to center. In fact, I can even change the background color. So let me see background color, and I'm just going to change it to purple, and I'll save. And as you can see, the background color has changes. Now what has changed? Now watch what happens when I expand the width. So I'm going to expand the width right here from here, and so I'm expanding, and watch what happens when it gets to the tablet width. It changes to red, and watch what happens when it gets to anything greater than the tablet width. It changes to the original styles we set for, you know, the CSS. So basically that's how media queries work. Okay, all right, so if you enjoyed this video and you like content around web development, kindly subscribe to my channel, and see you in another video.